think, Tiamo, who do you think for you going into this this next game week, do you think are some good differentials? And you could just throw any names out there. And at the same time as well, do you think it's the right time to really be going with differentials? Especially in your position, considering in your mini league, you number one, you know. What do you think?
Firstly, for me, not taking no more risks. But
you want to hold down the spot, eh?
I am blocking now. But yeah, for anyone who's chasing, you have to actually look at like minutes now for me. Like Madueke, definitely something to look into. Wilson, someone to look into. And maybe even a Gakpo, away from a Diaz, even Elliott, guys like that. Even they are single game week guys, but the type of game that they're going into, you know, I think what Liverpool's playing. Who Liverpool playing?
I'm not sure. Who's Liverpool playing?
I think the next game.
They're playing Aston Villa.
So that's going to definitely probably be one of these high-scoring games. You know, like a single game week guy, especially in the front, like a Salah, can still hold up his own. But I'd always recommend the doublers. So your Wilsons, Madueke, Johnson maybe even. He's doubling, but against City, but Spurs always score against City. So
yeah, but you know what the thing is? I think Spurs, like we're saying, we're all already afraid to touch them, you know. But I think I don't know if you guys have noticed, Spurs is that bogey team for Man City.
Yeah,
you know, where Man City weirdly will always draw or lose against them, especially at Spurs Stadium, White Hart Lane. So I think for me, that's why I was saying Son is a differential because okay, well, he's not a differential this week, but next week. But I think Pedro, Porro, Johnson, even Richarlison are actually a good shout there because people are going to try and run away from them. But I think, remember, they got Burnley. Yeah, fine, Burnley's fighting relegation. But I think they'll do the business in Burnley and you want to get those points, right? Then you're definitely going to get a 2 points because they're going to show up in Man City. But imagine you also collecting points from that game because why? Tottenham tends to show up against Man City. So, I don't know. Chaps, what do you think? Do you really think people should necessarily run away from Spurs differentials or they should just focus on other doublers who can provide? For example, I think Wilson could be a potential differential, a risky one. But yeah, what do you think, chaps? Differentials.
Yeah, I think from Spurs, the only differential you can possibly think about is Richarlison. But the problem with him is that it's his minutes that you're unsure of. I mean, I think this is the second game or third game in a row he's came off the bench. Yeah, sure, he had an injury and stuff, so they want to build up his fitness. But the minutes are not looking so good in terms of starts. So, look, I mean, the game against Burnley, there is where you actually want Spurs to actually capitalize in terms of goals and possibly even a clean sheet. But yeah, we all know Spurs with their high line, they're really prone to conceding a goal. So for me, the problem with Richarlison is that he's not a striker in the game. He's set as a midfielder, and we all know that there's better options out there in the midfield, like way too many better options. So right now from Spurs, the only best option is Son. And the thing is with Son is that he's like 9.9 or 9.8. It's rather expensive, you know? Yeah. And it's not a given that, yes, they are City's bogey team, but it's not a given that Son will score. You know, even though I think they might be playing at home. I think Spurs might be playing at home.
Yeah,
they'll be playing at home.